All right, let's dive in. What do you think is the primary purpose of a grading system in education?
Good question. I'd say the main purpose is to give us feedback on how well we're doing in a course, but it is just for us, or does it serve other people like teachers or parents?
That's a good point. Grading just give us feedback, but it also lets teachers and parents know how we're doing, right? So maybe it's also about showing our progress to everyone who has a role in our education.
Definitely. But here's a question. If grading is about showing our progress, then how is that different from a reporting system? Aren't they kind of the same?
Actually, I think there's a difference. A reporting system is more like a summary of our grades, maybe on report cards or transcripts. It organizes all of our scores, while a grading system is about actually evaluating how we perform in each assignment. Does that make sense?
Totally. But do you think letter grades actually capture everything about our learning? I mean, are they really the best way to assess what we know?
Hmm, good question. I don't think letter grades show the whole picture. Sometimes they don't tell us much about specific strengths or areas where we need improvement. They're kind of generic, like if I get a B, that doesn't explain what I did well or what I could work on. Do you all feel the same?
Yes, I think it can be frustrating when grades don't highlight our individual skills. Why do you think some schools even choose to use a pass fail system instead?
Maybe it's because a pass-fail system is less stressful. It allows students to explore new topics without worrying about letter grades. But that makes me wonder, are there any downsides to a pass-fail system?
I think there are. In a pass-fail system, we might not feel as motivated to aim for high marks. It could make us less focused on really excelling in the subject.
Agreed. And speaking of criteria, why do you think grades sometimes include things like participation and attendance?
I guess it's because participation and attendance show how engaged we are with the class. Those things matter too, right? Learning isn't just about taking tests, it's also about showing up and contributing. Do you think it's fair to grade us on those things, though?
That's tricky. I think it can be fair, but it also depends. I mean, if someone is shy, it might be harder for them to participate verbally. It could be seen as unfair if they lose points for something that doesn't necessarily reflect their understanding of the material.
Exactly. Now, I'm curious. How do letter grades actually motivate us to learn more? Do they inspire you guys to push yourselves?
For me, yes. They gave us a specific target to aim for. Like, if I want to improve, I'll try to move from a B to an A. But at the same time, I know some people think grades don't define them. Why do you think some students feel that way?
I'd say it's because grades don't capture everything about who we are. They can't measure creativity, resilience, or even how much we enjoy the subject. Grades only show a small part of what we're capable of.
That's so true. Let's analyze this a bit more. How might a grading system that includes things like participation, attendance, and effort actually give a more complete view of our performance compared to one based only on test scores?
Well, if a grading system includes those things, it shows that learning is more than just passing tests. It's also about commitment and consistent effort. So, it gives teachers insight into our reliability, our attitude toward learning, and whether we're genuinely engaged in the course.
I agree, it sounds like that approach could be more well rounded. But let's evaluate this further. Do you all think letter grades help us identify our specific strengths and weaknesses in learning?
Honestly, not really. Letter grades give a general idea, but they don't tell us which skills we've mastered or where we need to improve. It's like they're too broad to be helpful for figuring out specific areas to work on.
I feel the same way. That's why I think it would be great to come up with an alternative grading system that addresses these limitations. What do you all think would work better?
What if we use a competency-based system, like instead of just A, B, C, or D, we could have levels like beginner, developing, proficient, and advanced. And on top of that, teachers could write comments of our progress.
I love that idea. That way we'd know exactly what areas we're doing well in and which ones need more work. It would be a lot clearer than just a letter.
Right. And teachers' feedback could give us specific goals to aim for. We wouldn't have to guess what an A or B means in terms of skill level. It would be like having a map to guide our improvement.
Exactly, and just think how much more helpful that would be when we're planning out what to work on. We could set goals based on our exact skill level rather than trying to get a vague letter grade.
I think we're onto something here. Imagine if schools actually consider this idea. Should we present it to our teachers?
I think we should. Maybe if enough students express interest in a different kind of grading system, it might encourage teachers to try it out, even if just on a small scale.
Agreed. Even just piloting it in one or two classes could give everyone a sense of whether it's helpful. But here's a question. Do you think teachers would be willing to try something new like this?
I think they might if we explain how it could help us learn better. Teachers want us to succeed, and if we show them that a competency-based system would give us a clearer path to improvement, they might be open to it.
And besides, it wouldn't replace grades entirely. It would just add more context to help us understand our performance better.
Exactly. We're not asking to get rid of the grades, just to make them more meaningful. This discussion has been so helpful. I feel like I understand grading systems way better now, and I'm excited about the possibility of change. That's all. Thank